Hurricane Melissa making a landfall here shortly in Jamaica as one of the strongest hurricanes in the Atlantic record books. It has maximum sustained winds right now of 185 miles per hour. Catastrophic forces are already ripping up now lower parts of the island nation itself. Joining me live from Jamaica is the Honorable Darrell Vaz, MP, Minister of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications. Minister, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I know it's a tough day.
Tough, very tough.
Do you have any updates what's going on right now? Any news what's coming in as we're watching this thing make landfall?
So I can confirm that that it has made landfall just outside of Black River, and they are feeling the effects of it as we speak. I'm in Kingston, which is the capital, which is 100 miles away. So our weather is not too bad here. We're having rain and wind, but definitely nothing like what's happening in the western part of Jamaica at this point in time.
Have you had any updates on the power grid, how it's holding up across the island?
So the power grid has been holding in those areas where the hurricane is due to hit. We have probably lost about 75% of the customers' base. And now with it hitting, I expect that 100% of those parishes will be down. As a result of other issues, we're having electricity problems in other parishes as well that are not going to get a direct hit. So I suspect that our grid is going to be badly affected in the short term in terms of restoration of electricity.
And Mr. Vaz, we knew it was going to be a powerful hurricane. We didn't think it was going to be maybe 185 miles per hour. How did you prepare for the storm in the days before it came?
So the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, which takes control during times of disaster, and all the government agencies and entities, and we as a government have done everything that we could possibly do to prepare for the event, save and except, obviously, trying to get those persons in low-lying areas to evacuate. That always is a problem that we face. So as of this point in time, we are as ready as we can be and into now the recovery phase of the post-hurricane. But it's going to be a long day and a long night and a long few days. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get the Norman Manley International Airport, which is in Kingston, up to accept relief flights as early as Thursday, depending on the assessment tomorrow. So I know there's a lot of people who want to help. So you can stay tuned for that to know exactly when we'll be open. And of course, we look forward to all the assistance from our brother and sister countries across the world.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the western part of the country right now getting the brunt of it as we speak. We're talking about this Category 5 moving in with 185 mile per hour winds. Once this thing begins to peel away, how are you going to get the information as to who needs the most supplies first?
Well, as I said, we do have the Office of Disaster Preparedness, and we have shelters all around Jamaica, and we have satellite communication. So we're going to try as best as possible. I think the biggest challenge that we'll have is actually getting into those areas by road, because we expect our infrastructure to be badly damaged. So it's going to be a lot of airlift in immediate response to try and get supplies into those areas, medical supplies, food supplies, and whatever other supplies that we will be called on to provide. But it's going to be a very difficult period for Jamaica and for Jamaicans, as nobody can prepare for a Cat 5, and there's very little, if any, structure that can sustain a Category 5. Whether it is block and steel, whatever it is, it just doesn't have the capacity. So we expect major devastation of infrastructure and of life and livelihood.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, you cannot prepare for a Category 5 of this magnitude. There's no question. But let's talk about real quickly Jamaica, the population. Where is the population in the country mostly concentrated in? Is it the west side or the east side of the country?
Thankfully, it's the east side. Okay. Between Kingston, St. Catherine, and Portmore, we probably have 1.5 million out of 3 million people. And that's the eastern end of the island that's getting the least effect of the hurricane. Right. Kingston is also the epicenter. It's the capital, and it's where everything happens in terms of of business and commerce, etc. So that's a distinct advantage, because at least we'll be able to get up and running in Kingston to give the support to the westerly parishes. But again, it is going to be a long road to full recovery. But the government is committed.
Yeah.
We have made provisions. We have limited insurance, obviously, catastrophe insurance. So we'll be able to start with the recovery immediately. And I'm sure that, as I said, our friendly countries around the world will help us with the assets and the relief that we'll need to sustain the population during this period of time.
Yeah, the best of luck. Honorable Darrell Vaz, Minister of Energy, Transport, and Telecommunications. Sir, thank you so much for taking the time and talking.
Thanks
I really
so
appreciate
much.
it. Yeah, listen, we hope to get back to you again, hopefully as early this week, and you can tell us, give us an update. So God bless and good luck, sir.
Anytime. God bless Jamaica.
Yeah.
Our correspondent, Robert Ray, live in St. Ann Parish, Jamaica. Robert, this looks like it's worsened considerably since last time we checked in.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Yeah, these are the strongest winds so far that we've experienced here. And again, I have to stress this for our viewers. If I lose you, we are operating solely on a battery power generator and Starlink right now, including how I'm listening to you via Wi-Fi. But yeah, we've got some pretty good strong wind gusts coming through here with driving rain as well. Vegetation everywhere just swaying back and forth. And right now, at least the structures that I can see are holding up, and that's a good thing. Quarter mile down this roadway is the Caribbean Sea. That may be a different story as the wind continues to kick around and move through that two-lane highway and a lot of smaller structures. A little bit of a lull here from just a second ago when you came to us. That's just the way it goes when you have these bands that are coming in. And clearly, Hurricane Melissa that we know made landfall at 185 miles per hour to the southwest of us earlier today, and now just making its way through Montego Bay and ravaging that area. I can tell you this, all the reports that we're seeing out of Montego and that area 50 miles to the west of us are not good. Big time wind gust right now coming through here like a train, and you can hear all that wind howling off the mountainsides and down these roadways. It's just, I don't know if you can actually get that in your ear, if it's coming across, but that's what's coming through, whipping through my ears. That's why the helmet and also the glasses, any kind of vegetation off trees, it feels like BBs on your face and your body. And God forbid power lines and other structures start to rip apart. But what I was saying about Montego Bay is that, our security team, who is from Jamaica here, incredible men that we've been with for the past 5 days at this point. One of them is from Montego Bay, and he lives there. And so he's getting reports about how bad the situation is unfolding there. And 25,000 tourist visitors in the resorts, an economic engine, that pocket of Jamaica. And so many people that are hunkered down and trapped and going through no power, no cell phone service, probably a race for food and water, because we've seen some of that that's been posted on social media earlier before the power and the cell phone service went out. Shelters, about 800 of them open here across the island. We're told by officials that nearly 400 of them have people in them, and the total amount earlier, the head count, was about 6,000. It's not really that many people when you consider there's nearly 3 million people here that live on the islands of Jamaica. Wind gusts beginning to kick up yet again, and you can see it all behind us as the rain is creating mud. I'm standing in mud, quite literally, right now, and everywhere I look, including the mountainside up there, it's just ripping. I mean, trees are kind of on their sides at this point and rain whipping through this community here. These are fortified houses where we're at. That's why we picked the house that we're broadcasting from right now, and the team is tucked in that garage, again operating off Starlink and also a 3,000 watt generator because we have no power and our communication, our cell phone data does not work at this point. So Starlink is taking us into this, and we're able to give you this information, thankfully. You know, we know that there are deaths here in Jamaica. There were deaths over this past weekend in Haiti and Dominican Republic. And this system, even after it exits as a Category 4 into the Caribbean Sea shortly, the backside of this will create a tremendous amount of energy and push of surge that will move into the Montego Bay area and all of this roadway that goes 50 plus miles into Negril on the southwest far southwest corner, and there will be major issues with that push of water on top of the rain that is falling and the wind. There are resorts that are under construction that I saw the other day coming in as I flew into Montego Bay, and many of them, you know, I hope that they shored up some of that construction material because that's going to be projectiles. On top of that, the airport likely going to be in a compromised position, unfortunately, because of the wind field. And, you know, we hope that Kingston stays in place, the capital. About 1 million people live there because that airport will be a lifeline for aid to come in here and also to get people off of this island. World Food Organization is here. Other aid groups and other aid groups will be making their way in. Have to think at this point tomorrow when the sun comes up and we can have some sort of semblance to be able to traverse a little bit, we're going to run into a lot of roadways that are impassable, not only in the southwest where the hurricane came on shore, but also the roadway into Montego Bay. There will likely be debris fields quite everywhere, and that's going to cause a lot of issues for first responders and officials to try and assess. But the Jamaican government, we know, is ready when they can take off with helicopters and also get on the ground and try to help people. And the 25,000 plus tourists that are on the island over there are going to be wanting some help, I can tell you. Certainly being locked down and without cell phone service and no power, very uncomfortable. And there is a big wind gust, just kind of took me off my feet. Had to land a little bit there. I have to think we are approaching perhaps hurricane force wind gusts here. No question about it, just from feeling and standing in these in the past right now. Ian, I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can, just give me a little holler. I don't know if our Starlink is staying with us right now. Ian, you there?
Robert, we got you, and I was fascinated watching this. I hope you can still hear me. I wonder if you've been talking about this with Jared. About 25 miles off to your south, they're not the tallest mountains on Jamaica, but they are tall. They're up to about 3,000 feet, a little bit more than that. Most of this afternoon, with where the storm has been, you've effectively been on the leeward side.
A second there. I just saw significant debris in the distance behind the house fly off of a structure. Obviously, it was, I don't know if it was plywood or aluminum, and I'll wait maybe for the Starlink to come back. Can you hear me, Ian?
We can, Robert. I'm thinking that you've lost that shield. The mountains, effectively, the wind direction is turning. Robert,
I'm down, guys.
Okay, we lost him.
I am disconnected. Let me dial back in, and perhaps you guys can come back to us as these winds are coming in. Let me dial back in and see if I can get a connection, guys. Stand by.
This monster hurricane, a major, made that disastrous landfall in Jamaica. We got a ways to go with this. You see him now. That is our correspondent, Robert Ray. He's live in St. Ann Parish, Jamaica. Robert, you've been hanging in there. Ways to go with this. Great work to you and the team. What has the scene been like? It looks like the rain is picking up, and you've got the core of this storm still inching closer.
Yeah, indeed, Ian. We are seeing excessive winds beginning to come in, and yes, rain that is beginning to pound. In fact, about 15-20 minutes ago, probably the most intense that we have experienced. And I just want to warn you and our viewers and give you a scenario that we're going through right now. We have lost all power and our communications are dwindling. And what I mean by that, let me explain to you. I have 5 mobile phones on me, okay, with 3 different service carriers, all of which are out of commission at this point. It comes back for a second, but then it goes away. So we have set up a Starlink. We are trying to keep that protected. And the issue with that Starlink is that the more these winds come in and the actual hurricane, cloud covers move in, we'll lose that signal as well. So we're doing our best to keep signal and keep comms. And if I happen to lose the comms in my ear right now, which is allowing me to hear what you just said, then I'll just keep going. And for our viewers unaware, I will bring it back to Ian. And we're going to just continue to have this very fluid situation. It is what it is. And that's what happens when you have an historic landfall at 185-mile-per-hour winds to the southwest of us. Obviously, those winds have diminished, but we're still sitting at a powerful Cat 5 as this makes its way up, headed toward Montego Bay area. We are 50 miles from Montego Bay to the west here, about a quarter mile from the Caribbean Sea in St. Anne's Parish, Runaway Beach, not too far from here. This is in a very serious situation right now, as so many areas in Jamaica, especially on the west side of the island, are out of power and losing communications. And you see the wind gusts beginning to pick up, and you see the vegetation blowing and the rain driving right now. This will only progressively get worse as the minutes tick by and the hours go by. As Brian Norcross was just saying, around 8 o'clock tonight, Jamaica time, an hour behind Eastern time, is when we should start to feel a little bit of relief. But remember that backside, there's always the variables of that, and then the push of water from the Caribbean Sea into the Montego Bay area. They should expect some storm surge at that point, and flooding. Clearly, we're seeing water come down roads at this point. The sewers that are at least in this area, this community, are handling that rain thus far. But again, to Brian Norcross's point, and what you all have been talking about as forecasters and meteorologists, these mountains in the distance, the water has to come down. And there are some mountain communities in this parish area that we've already seen images where the homes have been inundated, and roof lines where the water is up to the roof lines. And that will be the ebb and flow for the following hours ahead. The biggest concern, as we are going through right now, the biggest concern for first responders and officials here in Jamaica of nearly 3 million residents is communications and power, and then the roadways. When these wind fields destroy the vegetation, rip across roofs, take down structures and power lines, it may be impossible to traverse some of these 2-lane roads that wrap around the island. And then you have the 4-lane highway, which is actually not too far from where we're at and why we picked this location, so that we have the ability to get on that 4-lane highway and perhaps get some of our reporting out and transmitted, and we may be only able to do that down in Kingston. We hope that the power grid stays there, and we hope that the situation is not too serious with flooding, but it may be because of how long that water will take to come down the mountainsides. Thankfully, Kingston not going through these hurricane force winds like we are about to endure, and like the people to the south and the southwest are going to go through. Amazing to think that this Category 5 is going to come up the island, which is moving right now, and then potentially leave Jamaica as a Cat 5 still, or a strong Cat 4. And look at that. See, you got that counter twist. There it is right here. And the Caribbean Sea, a quarter mile, the counter twist, and that's exactly what is happening right now with the rain making its way in and some of these winds beginning to pick up. The escalation is happening quickly. This is what we expected as we've been monitoring this and reporting since before the light came up. And if we can keep a signal up, we'll keep reporting as the light goes down. But that is the current situation right now, Ian. I'm not sure if you can hear me. If you can, give me a little talk.
Yeah, Robert, we can. And I was just looking at your location. We've got the satellite up. I know obviously you can't see it.
I can hear you.
But just over the last 20 minutes, Robert, a little bit of a jog off to the east, and that is going to bring the core just a touch closer to you. I know the plan was kind of always we have you until we have you.
In and out, Ian.
What's that? You got me still? You lost me? Just like that. I think we just lost him. So Robert was doing a great job explaining that. Logistically, this is a major challenge. He said he's got 5 cell phones, 3 different carriers. They're all down. They've got the Starlink up, so they're relying on satellite connectivity and a battery. I think they may have a generator with them. But when you consider that receiver, you've got the satellite receiver for Starlink, but you've got these winds that are cranking up, and it becomes very challenging to be able to maintain the equipment and maintain that signal. So basically what Robert was saying, him, Jared, the whole team, they're doing everything they can to get us the latest pictures and the latest information. Robert, sounds like we might have you back. That's the case. I was kind of talking about your logistics. You're doing everything you guys can, but this is awfully challenging to maintain a signal.
Yeah, it is, Ian. It's in and out, but I can hear you. Whether or not I can hear you in 5 seconds or 10 seconds, I don't know. But I did hear you talk about our power structure right now, the generator we have. You know, we are going to essentially run off of a 3,000 watt generator, which is at about a 97% battery charge right now. But we can't charge that anymore because we have actually no ground power, and that is a problem, right? So that's what we're up against, and that is also why in the coming days, after the storm passes, we may have to head, or at least part of our team, we have 2 vehicles here and a security team. We may have to send part of our team down to Kingston to charge equipment, to get video out and get our reports out, and then make our way back up. And part of the team will stay here, likely heading into Montego Bay, where we're going to see destruction. The issue is we're head down to the southwest coast where the landfall occurred. I can tell you right now that those roads are likely going to be impassable for some time. I know that already because of my coverage of Hurricane Beryl in July of 2024, which was not even hurricane force winds per se, and not a landfall. It was high tropical storm winds battered the power structure and the roads. There was vegetation down everywhere. So there's a lot of moving parts here, but I can tell you there's 25,000 tourists down the road in these resorts in Montego Bay that are hunkering down, and the Minister of Tourism here and the country of Jamaica is making sure that they're okay. We've heard from them. We hope that everyone's going to be okay, but I got to tell you, if these winds and that circulation really continues the way it is and goes into those high rises and some of those resorts, they're going to be in serious trouble. Windows are going to blow out and roofs are going to peel, and there's going to be a lot of very terrifying moments for so many tourists, first responders, and residents. So the ebb and flow here as we speak, these winds, I mean, and the rain, this is just going to get more intense as the hours go by, Ian.
Yeah, no question. It's amazing to be able to communicate with you at all at this point. So we appreciate the hard work. You'll be showing us these scenes, doing the important reporting both during and after this storm. That's Fox Weather correspondent Robert Ray. Stay safe. We'll be checking back with you. Thank you.
Now they get boards for the building. Boards. This is real. Like they're really preparing.
They are really preparing. That was Dawn Harper Nelson. Dawn's been in Jamaica on a business retreat with 17 other people this week. As word spread that Hurricane Melissa was bearing down on Jamaica, a couple of people from her group, they were able to leave before the airport closed on Sunday. But now Dawn, her husband, and 14 others, they're stuck in Jamaica. Dawn Harper Nelson and her husband Alonzo Nelson join us now. We need to mention that this retreat was the National Scholastic Athletics Foundation. Dawn is a 2-time Olympic medalist, winning gold in the 100-meter hurdles during the Beijing Games back in 2008. Dawn and Alonzo joining us now. First off, thank you for joining us. I want to make sure you guys are in Montego Bay, Dawn. Is that correct? Just give us an update of what you've been dealing with over the past, 12 hours or so.
Yes, we are in Montego Bay. It has been Pretty much a drastic change. Earlier, everyone wanted to make sure people stay calm, don't, panic, but we didn't really have an evacuation plan. We knew that they were turning the convention center that you saw before boarded into the evacuation center. We were informed, though, you would be in this space, this area, but once it was time to evacuate, people were supposed to leave at 9:30. They were showing up at 6 o'clock, standing in the rain, panicking, people being turned away. Trying to push through the door. Of course, all plans change. You have people here with children, elderly. And so there's actually where this convention center is as an upstairs area, but downstairs there's a movie theater, and they have people, imagine a movie theater, they're in there. And the panic for them, and the lady was yelling out, I was in Katrina, I don't want to experience that again.
Oh, no.
And so you have mindsets, and so we're upstairs. So the flooding portion, we feel like we may be safe, but the winds have picked up. You can hear, see the boarding behind us? Yeah. You could hear the winds going by. So it has been a huge change. Flights, everything have been.
So it's a lot of anxiety around here because last night we thought we heard wind, but that was just the blow dryer in the bathroom. But being in this area, the lobby area, you can actually hear the 70-mile-per-hour wind pushing against the boards. And there's some leaking in the roofs as well.
All over the building.
Already beginning to leak, and we still haven't even seen this hurricane make landfall yet.
Yeah, the worst of the wind is quite a distance from you, but you remark that woman, obviously tapping into her previous experience. And I think that all of us as humans can relate to that. Your mind goes to what you've lived through. And I can only imagine for that poor woman, but for all of you in this situation. So what's being done to sort of keep the cool? Because obviously we have a long way to go. You guys haven't even gotten to the worst of the storm. And then sometimes the aftermath can be very troublesome. So what efforts are being made to sort of keep the temperature low in this moment?
Well, right now they've notified us when everyone kind of first got into the building. They said, listen, we're going to do numerous announcements. So try and stay calm, bear with us. There's a big projectors in each room. So imagine a big ballroom, and there are partitions, four ballrooms, where the big partition is about 80 people in each room. So they have projectors in there. So they're going in, pulling up the map, kind of showing people where it is right now, when it's projected to hit. You're going to be okay, stay safe. They're letting us know they have plenty of food and water, they said. And obviously we'll deal with the day as it kind of comes, and they said they've never experienced anything like this, so they're like, bear with them. That's their main comment.
And the cool and calmness of Jamaicans is also what's keeping us calm, because as we were getting closer and closer to evacuation, all they played was reggae music, and it was real soothing and calm. And the employees here have been really, really accommodating and really, really nice and just even keel. So big blessings to everybody that's working through this.
Because it got chaotic because there was a lot of misinformation with the evacuation plan. But literally they're like, please just stay calm with us, because they're like, we're actually nervous too. So trying to have grace.
I mean, they end up becoming almost crisis managers, right? As you've got a lot of people that are dealing with some nerves from ones who have lived through past storms.
And ones that have no idea what's coming.
I guess from your perspective, Alonzo, when we're looking at, and Dawn, perhaps the amount of time that you might be there, when was your flight supposed to leave, and is there a timeline?
Oh my gosh. So that's the hard part. I'll give the beginning. So we were supposed to leave on Sunday, this past Sunday. And once we heard people trying to get the earlier flights, that's why some of the members from this group were able to get out. But now it's Wednesday that our flight was booked for, but they alerted us yesterday that flight is canceled. So we rebooked for a Friday flight, but they're saying we don't know really when you're
hopefully we can get off Friday, but it'll probably be sometime maybe Saturday or maybe even next week. So
because of the aftermath.
And Don and Alonzo, is the flight through Montego Bay? I'm assuming because both airports located on different shorelines will face different things. So you are trying to get out of Montego Bay.
Yes.
It closed on Sunday.
On Sunday at noon.
And they're like,
they were supposed to go out at 1 o'clock Sunday.
So how is staff preparing you for what's to come? Dawn, you had posted, I think that they are beach chairs that are going to be serving as cots. So you all are going to essentially be sleeping in these different rooms tonight or tomorrow too?
We already did. We just did our first night last night on those cots and everything.
And remember, downstairs is the movie theater, so they spent their night in movie theater seats. And no reclining. Like, so that's where we are on that side. They gave us a sheet. We brought over our blanket and a pillow, and that's all we have. They said, bring your essentials. So, as you said, IDs, passports, that type of thing, one change of clothes. And that's just one room. It's about 3 or 4 more of those. And that looks very organized. Just imagine people are sprawled out all over the place now. I mean,
yeah. You got to try to make do, right? I mean, as this hurricane's bearing down. So with mandatory evacuations that are set, I mean, you got to be ready to go by this afternoon. What is the game plan for you guys? You have to stay indoors? Are you allowed to venture out still?
Oh, no. So this board behind us, this is what let me see. Like, literally, you cannot exit at nothing. There's no way to possibly get out. And so that is the part that makes it kind of hard, because you can hear the wind, but in the room, the ballroom that we're in, we can't hear anything. Yeah. And so that's why they're just going to update us, and our phones, as long as we have service, which it actually now has been starting to cut out a little bit. So I'm in this space, that's why we're not moving, but it's starting to cut out a little bit. We're just literally we're waiting.
We're at the mercy of the storm, because the wind is not going to get any less than what it is right now. Like, when we woke up around 6 a.m., the wind was at like 60 miles per hour. And now it's probably closer to 80 miles per hour. So,
and so family members have been panicking. I've been every hour. I didn't get a 4-hour sleep, because every hour on the hour, I have a group text of his family and my family, and I've been texting them, we're okay, we're still okay. Everyone, like Alonzo's sleep is just trying to ease their mind.
So I'll take the shift if she's going to get some sleep after this. And I'll start notifying the family.
Yeah, trying to keep everybody in contact as long as you can.
Exactly.
Just the human element here. I mean, just listening to both of you talk about this, I can feel my anxiety going up and my blood pressure responding. How are you two as a couple dealing with those physical reactions to this experience and trying to just weather the storm, quite literally?
Well, so I did have a moment, because this is just real conversation, and I want you all to understand mentally where our minds go. I talk to my sister and I tell her, hey, you're our emergency contact. The U.S. Embassy, if anything happens, they'll be letting you know if we can't contact you. And she says, okay, Dawn, let's have a real talk. Am I getting your girls if something happens to the two of you? We have a 6- and 2-year-old. And I just break down crying, because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a real thing. So that's where we are. I mean, at any moment, anything just triggers the fact that this is real. And so the helpful thing is we have each other, we have the other members, of the group that I'm here with, that, you're able to kind of have a little fun moment, and then it's the emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
But
well, and taking those turns to help each other out of those moments, I would assume.
Yes.
I'm looking at you guys at a table, that retreat, the group that you were with. This was before. I would assume that, does the resort have plenty of food for everyone in the several days ahead? We always talk about having that stuff with you. You need drinkable water, and you need the food. Are they plenty stocked up?
They are.
They just served us breakfast, and they have several stations with water and juice and hot tea and coffee.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys have been getting the updates, but the National Hurricane Center, every hour they've been providing updates, and this could very well be the strongest landfalling hurricane that we've ever seen in the Atlantic Basin. That's breaking all records, all landfalling hurricanes, a Category 5. The power thing that you had mentioned, Dawn, I was curious. With the idea of power being out, have they been encouraging you guys to keep those electronics powered up? I'm thinking of the U.S. Embassy. You might want to write that phone number down on a piece of paper if the phone ends up going out, right?
For sure. We have it down.
Yeah, literally everything you just said, that's exactly what we're going through. When I finish this interview, we're not using his phone, we're going to keep it fully charged. We have our portable charger. Our group has portable chargers. They have charging stations, because everyone's fighting for a wall socket. And so that's where you want to be. But they have stations that they've set up for you to charge. And so after I get off of this, I'm charging my phone and I'm not using it again. It's just, do not use it unless you have to.
Yeah, that's the advice. That's well taken. I'm curious, do you have a head count about how many people? I know within your group, am I correct? It's you both and then 14 others. How many are at the resort?
Yes. It says 650.
Yeah.
650?
50 people.
Wow.
And how many rooms? You have a couple of floors that you guys are all in.
So, yes, the convention center, we have the front room. So I'm going to do a quick spin.
Yeah.
Thank you for the perspective.
So that was right, because I don't want to, put
sure.
people out there that are in a vulnerable
Of course,
space.
and we want to
So
respect
that's
their
an example.
privacy as well.
Right. So that's an example of what's in the front of the convention center. Then you have the ballrooms. Then downstairs, they said they were putting people in the bowling alley area, and then there's another room that they're putting. So they're just squeezing us in.
Yeah.
My word.
So up here, it should be somewhere around 450 people.
Well, we are
on the second
certainly
floor.
we're certainly thinking about you guys and hoping you can get back to the kids, Dawn. I know that it becomes unnerving, especially when you're away for so long. So we're thinking about you guys. Please stay safe, and let's keep tabs too, because this is an all-day event and it's only going to be going downhill. So we'll be keeping tabs on it. Dawn Harper Nelson and Alonzo Nelson, thanks for joining us.
We're praying for both of you and your families and every one of you that are in this situation.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.